Well, we're live, and I'm just going to spend a few minutes. I'm Jay Skinner with PDT Associates, and we're doing buyers and sellers. So let's just take a few minutes and let some people join, and I'm sure glad to have you. While I'm talking to you, you're maybe early showing up here. We get started in about a minute and a half. I have a camera right here. I got a screen here, a screen here, and a screen here, and I'm doing some stuff. So getting organized, making sure everything's on, and looks like it's working great. Super. There we go. See that? Your video. There we go. Let me click on that. There I am. Ha, it works. I'm so happy to have you here again. I'm Jay Skinner with PDT Associates, and we're here to talk about buyers and sellers situations. And today the topic is buy the process, not the product. And coming up this Sunday is Valentine's Day, and I want to start in honor of that with Let Me Call You Sweetheart. This was my dad's favorite song. It's kind of funny because my mom used to say, Jay, now practice the piano or go to bed. And Dad said, and if you're going to play the piano, play Let Me Call You Sweetheart. All right. That's this Sunday, everyone. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. How about that? Thanks for showing up here. This is great. I'm so excited to have you. I want you to feel free. The process is like this. We're 30 minutes up and down, and it's not a long thing, but we're going to deal with some very, very important topics. And then right there in the chat, whatever platform you're on, I'm live on Facebook as well as YouTube, and won't be long until we'll be live actually directly on LinkedIn. Right now, the LinkedIn invite takes you to the Facebook page where you join. And hopefully in a week or two, that'll be fixed, and then I'll be on the 3 platforms, maybe more. Anyway, here's the dilemma. Let's just get right to it and why you came. By the way, if someone tells me you got a problem, nope, everything's great. I'm going to turn this off. Here's the dilemma. You need to get a piece of equipment to do a job. This piece of equipment has some technical aspects to it. And when it comes to the procurement aspects of the deal, you need a great price. But it has to work. If it comes in wrong, well, how many times have you had to push a vendor over the finish line? And worse, when the problems arise and mistakes happen, sometimes they just disappear. We all have horror stories, including from the sales side, when a company simply doesn't fulfill their obligation, and the salesperson, I think like a waitress in a restaurant with bad food, is the one who suffers the consequences, embarrassment, lost trust, and relationships. Well, we're not going to go down that road today as it relates to disappointment with the salesman and his company. But what we are going to go down is the road that says you're in a position to buy and you have to make a decision. And this is to find balance between price, service, quality, and all the things that go into your procurement buying decision. Now, what I suggest is that you consider buying the process. Here's what I mean. If you need this big fancy widget, everybody that has a machine and makes widgets will say they can do the job. They'll tell you about their widget, how good it is, how colorful it is, how many they have on the shelf, and how many they sell, and the special features of their widget and all their customers, and what it does and doesn't do, and all these wonderful things about their widgets. Then they're going to tell you about price, and they want to battle over that next to beat the 4 other widget makers. But you know that it's not just the widget alone that goes into this deal. You actually realize that the widget is just a part of it. If it's not introduced properly, if it's not engineered properly, if it's not designed and the proper thought hasn't gone into it, you may get a disaster, a real disaster. So let's turn the page. Then some lady or guy walks in and they say, everybody with a machine that makes widgets will tell you they can do this job for you. I'm sure you found that out. But here's what I'm going to do. And here's how we're going to approach it, because we make great widgets and you'll love them. I've got a long list of customers, and that's fine. I want to tell you, our great widgets are not what you need so much as you need a problem solved. See, if you could solve this problem without my widgets, that'd be great. In fact, if I could solve your problem without my widgets, I'd invent whatever that solution is and be in here showing that to you. So until we figure out how to go into the widget-less world, in this case, then we're going to have to deal with it, of course. And if we ever figure out how to do this job, like I said, I'll be back to offer it. But there's one little thing that makes it so important, and it's a real pain for you. Just the fact that you're even talking to me about it right now indicates that there's some problems and room for improvement. So time out. Let's get out of that role-playing mode for a minute, and I'm going to say, so that person's got some insight. They sound good, and then they say, let's set the widgets aside for a minute. And just assuming my widgets are as good as anybody else's, and maybe a little bit better, here's our process for introducing these widgets to you on a step-by-step basis. And I have to say that this process is quite meticulous. But, you know, I've never had an engineer or a company owner or a buyer say, stop, please don't care that much about me. In fact, they appreciate if you're taking a meticulous approach. So now I'm going to get out of the role playing for just a second and show you that what that widget salesperson is bringing you is not a product, but a process. See, a process is compelling. We're going to all agree right now that just about everybody out there has competitors, and they have options out there for you, of course. There's a few situations where there's no competitors, but we're talking about the situation where you have a choice between 2 or 3, maybe even 4 different manufacturers. And what you are thinking about as a buyer is how to differentiate these manufacturers and what to do. So here's the differentiator that last salesperson in the door is bringing you. Insight in conversation and thoughts that no one else has brought. And a defined process is coming. Now, I see some comments, and I just want to let you guys know that after I get done with just a little bit more of this comment, we're going to take some questions and talk about it. So the differentiator, insight and conversation, thoughts that no one else has brought, and a defined process, here it comes. What if that salesperson brings you a step-by-step approach, making it virtually impossible to fail, gives you the confidence that when mistakes or problems or difficulties arise during the process, you know that they're taking a step-by-step organized approach in such a way that they will find it, fix it, and they'll be on it, and they will work with you in an excellent fashion. They're already proving to be highly communicative. Now, I'm going to show you something just live of an example of a company that's a 100-year-old company with this, approach that's very successful. So if you allow me to just share my screen, here we go. And I'm going to show you about a company that does this very, very well. Quite frankly, I'm going to do like this and hit share and do it. Put it on the screen, and there we are. What you're looking at right now is the Stickle Steam Company. It's a 100-year-old company, and they're known throughout the world to be people that deliver machines that make steam transfer heat, and they have some target markets and things like this. It's a very successful, good company. Their website's awesome. They got machines that they make, they put together in full systems that they deliver. And excuse me, I'm looking over here at the screen to make sure I direct you properly. Anyway, so if we're looking at this, I kind of laugh because they got the markets, they got OEM partners. That's always fun. That makes people, excited about dealing with them, and big companies here that they're involved with, and they've got machines, they got widgets, and their widgets are great. And it's like, I gotta tell you, we know there's other people have stuff, widgets and big machines and things like this. So what's the difference? Right here, process, right at the top of their products and services. And it's a 7-step process, or 8-step. Then they call it the SSPS in this case. And it's done in a way, I'm gonna blow it up a little bit more here, maybe we can see it. And this is what they show a first-time customer. Number one, preliminary project scope and time. Just look at the budget, talk about right off the bat, how much might it cost and how long it's going to take? Because if we're not on the same page there, then where do we go from there? So this salesperson is showing a step-by-step approach like this. And number two, after we get done with that, Mr. Customer, we're not going to 2 till we do 1. We're not going to 3 till we do 2. Step by step, and we can kill it all along the line here somewhere if we have to. And if we get down to 8, operation and safety training, oh my gosh, must have been a great deal. But we're going to step through it step by step. Now there's micro steps within this, because you see number 3 is the good faith deposits, purchase orders. Number 4 is when you do all the serious design engineering, material specifications and things like that. Final drawing approval, make sure you don't cut any metal till everybody knows exactly what we're doing and we agree. Manufacturing, fabrication, installation, system checks, and so forth. You go right down to it. And you can be talking to the head of operations, the vice president of operations in a completely different country, and you say, okay, well, we're in step number 6. Super, that's all I needed to know. Now the guys at the plant doing engineering, working in collaboration with you as a supplier or you as a buyer, may want to see the Gantt charts. And in this case, this particular company shares those out in the form of smart sheets so that the customers can see where you go in some of the projects. And I know other guys that do that as well. Everything to be communicative, make sure everybody knows what's going on. And at the same time, there's a step-by-step defined approach that gives you peace of mind. Now, I'm going to pop that off there right now. Let's get my screen going. Oops, there we go. Stop that screen share. Super. This builds trust, satisfaction, and successful interaction, along with timely deliveries, less misunderstandings and grief. Now, that's dealing with vendors. What do you think? I'm very interested in your thoughts at this point. That you can chat right in here. Right now, we don't have the ability to go live in the studio, although that's coming, and I want you to know that I'll be able to have guests one of these days soon, and that'll be something that we'll be doing as well. But right now, I'm very interested in your thoughts about this, and I really appreciate your comments. I see there's my friend Felix. Hey, welcome, Felix. Glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying it. Joe Williams, good stuff. Gotta run. Joe, thanks for dropping in. That's one of the things. You can catch this later if you have to go. But really want to thank people that are dropping by and checking this out. After the program, the broadcast, please let me know if you tried to post, they didn't pop up. It's a big deal, and I'm glad you like it. What I'm wondering now is, are you having some thoughts about this Is process important? Is buying the process over and above just the product something to think about and maybe a valid thing? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And just right here through the chat feature is the best way to do it. And I will say also, if you're chatting and I'm not seeing it, please get back with me afterwards and let me know if you're chatting live. Afterwards, if you put in some comments on the live feed, on the recorded afterwards, I promise to get back with you and answer some questions and give you my thoughts about how that works. Hey, Pal Critter, how about that? Welcome. Good to see you on the program. Looks like I've got people from all over here, and that's fantastic. If there's any questions, thoughts about buying the process, let me know. And if it's not, I won't belabor the point. I think this is interesting. I want to encourage you to get with me afterwards, and feel free to contact me either on our website or there's my email address. I think I'm one of the last supporters of AOL. Who knows? So with that in mind, what can I say? I just want to check, see if anybody else is saying anything here. Super. And by the way, Pal Critter, that's Chris. That's Chris, my friend. I appreciate your comments. I want to thank you for being here. I'll play us out with a little summertime. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Thank you for joining us on Buyers and Sellers. I'm Jay Skinner, PDT Associates, and I appreciate you coming by. So hush, little baby. Well, don't you cry. Next Friday, 10:35, catch the replays. So glad you came. Bye now.